Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be the part 2 for the armbar video that we shot a few weeks back. Now, this is going to be still within that beginner intermediate range. It's still applicable to beginners, but it is a little slightly more going into the mid-range of techniques. There's going to be 2 parts for this video. There's going to be the actual technique I show you, which is going to show a new position for the armbar, and then there's going to be a second part where I'm going to go over grip breaks and stuff like that, and that's going to be a little more intermediate. Right? So there's going to be 2 parts to it, and a new entry, different position for the armbar, going over details, and then grip breaks. Before we get started, I'm just going to quickly show a demo of the move. I'm just going to demonstrate it, just so you guys, have an idea of what I'm talking about before I get into any detail. To start things off, we're going to be in the neon belly position. The neon belly position comprises of having my shin going all the way across. The easiest thing to remember is going across the belt line. So shin goes across the belt line. You're going to lean your weight into them. So you're going to put your weight all into their stomach. Having your left leg out, this is more of a lateral push. So now I'm using this as a stability. As she moves around, I'm going to push against her. This is a wonderful position to defend against punches and all sorts of stuff like that. Because look at the range I have. I have very tall range. She tries to reach me. She can't reach me. And for jiu-jitsu, it's wonderful. I have chokes and arm bars, for example, like today. So let's get going. So neon belly position number 1. What I'm going to do, I'm going to look for a moment where she's going to push on my knee, because the weight will become very painful, especially if you're not used to it. So they're going to want to push and alleviate that pressure. So what I'm going to wait for is that opening in her arm over here. When that opening happens, I'm going to reach my arms, the same side arm. I'm going to reach through, grab her shoulder. I want to scoop her shoulder. What I want to do at this point, once I scoop, I need to turn her. So I'm going to relieve the weight. So I'm going to go into a low squat position as I pull. Do you see how we get into that low squat? If I don't relieve the weight and I just pull, it's not going to turn her enough. So I need to rotate to where her 2 shoulders line up straight to the ceiling. So you guys see, I'll draw a line for you guys to go, that goes straight to the ceiling. So you guys see it goes from 1, 2, 3. Now, given that I've done that, I'm going to take one big step, a single step all the way over, and you'll see where my foot's going to land. So I'm going to pull, take one step, and I'm going to sit lined up with her armpit. So just like this, I'm going to line up with her armpit. Now, still keeping her shoulder, when I want to reach, once I step over, I'm just going to reach for her pant. So if we rotate like this, I'm going to reach for her pant and make a grip. If this was no gi, meaning that if you did not have a gi with you and you're just shorts, right? You can't grab the shorts and you can't grab their leg hair. So what you're gonna do instead is, instead of grabbing the pant, you're gonna scoop inside their thigh. So you're gonna scoop inside their thigh as I rotate. Watch the finish as I rotate and sit nice and slow until we land into this position right over here. So once we land in this position, this is where we're going, like I said, so the second part, this is where it's going to get a little bit more into intermediate level. So the beginning, and by the way, if you had a difficult time with those movements, because that is a very specific movement for the armbar setup, I have another video where I do solo bag drills, right? I'll link it at the end of the video and also link it in the description. It'll just really help you guys out with some of these movements, because they're all basically simple movements that if you can just practice separately, it'll make everything else easier once you actually apply it to a body. But anyway, so we land in this position. Now, if you notice, this is actually a very unusual looking armbar. It looks a little bit different for those that haven't seen an armbar like this one before. I'm very used to the one where it looks like this, which we will transition to. But this is what we call a broken armbar. So this is a broken armbar position where it has my shin on the inside, so the inside of the body is tucked in. Right? But keep in mind, what makes an armbar, the last time we talked about it, is having my hips as close to her armpit as possible. The farther away they are, she can turn towards me and dip her elbow down to the mat, which means I lose the arm completely, it's gone. So I need to make sure that this space is gone with my hips. Close my hips in. As I scoop my arm all the way through, do you guys see my arm over here? Scoop all the way through, cup onto my thigh or grab onto my own gi. I need to make sure that not only is her armpit is stuck and wedged between my hips, I also need her elbow to be trapped, meaning that I move my arm all the way through, And I clasp onto my thigh or grab onto my gi. Now, once I land in this position, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna form a specific grip with my hand. My hand is gonna reach through, so the same hand that I reach through, grab the thigh or the collar, grab onto my bicep, and then my wrist on this side is going to grab onto her own wrist. Now this is sort of a Kimura, reverse Kimura sort of position, but just keep in mind, scoop the arm through, grab your bicep, and go over and grab your own wrist. Now watch what I'm going to do as I lean towards her head to pull my foot out and slide it across. Don't worry so much about the detail about getting that foot over. Just pull your foot out and go right over, right across the belly button. Now, once we land in this position, here we go. This is where the grip breaks are going to come into play. What I want to quickly say is, again, the key factors here for an armbar to maintain the position is that I control the shoulder here, and then her armpits. This shoulder is controlled by my curl, the curl of my heels. This shoulder is controlled by my hips that we mentioned earlier. And then I also need her elbow, and that's controlling my arm being scooped all the way through, or making that Kimura grip that we talked about. And then finally, the most important one, I would say, well, one of the most important ones, is controlling her posture. Because let's say she tries to sit up, like she rocks to sit up to her butt. If she's able to do this, this is going to be an issue for me. I don't want that. So that's why I look, because I've scooped, anytime she tries to sit up, I post my hand on the floor. Posting my hand on the floor, and I push her right back down. So she tries to do it again, I push, and I can use my leg to press her down. It's a very disadvantaged position for her, so I should have the edge on it. So anytime I feel pushing, I just post against the mat, and I return into that Kimura position. So watch, starting off, first grip break, reach my inside foot. Most of the breaks, if you're gonna use our legs, you're gonna be with the inside. I do not want to use my top leg here, because that'll release the pressure, allowing her to sit up, and I don't want that. So watch as my inside foot retreats, place my heel inside her elbow pit. Watch what happens now as I push and pull. See how that breaks that grip? Now from here I can return back to the original spot. Baseball bat control, meaning that you just hold the wrist like a baseball bat, and I bring myself all the way down. Now when it comes to breaking the arm in this position, pinch your knees so you don't sack yourself. Pinch your knees. Maintain the control of your chest with the arm, so baseball bat control, and start falling back. And at this point now, all I want to do is pin the wrist, elevate my hips, and that's what's going to break the elbow over here. And that's pretty much it, we're good to go. So again, arms all the way through, inside step, push, pull. Baseball bat control, fall back, pinch your knees, look at my heels, look how curled my heels are. And then I extend my hips for the finish. Second grip break. This is going to be if the guy is just brutally strong. And by the way, no matter what grip they make, doesn't matter. This will all work with it. It really doesn't matter. They can make this grip, they can grab their own bicep, they can grab their own, I don't care what they're doing. It'll work with every single style of grip that they do. So, once I land in this position again, let's say I'm trying. But it's like, holy crap, this guy is just so strong, he just can't do it. Or maybe I don't feel comfortable lifting my leg up, maybe he's just too big. I feel like he's gonna just use his explosiveness to just roll me over. So instead what I'm gonna do a very leveraged technique. This technique is so leveraged, it's unbelievable. It'll work on someone 50 to 100 pounds bigger than you if you do it exactly right. So watch what's gonna happen. The specifics in the move is gonna be, she's gonna keep her grip nice and strong. What I wanna do is watch as I transition. I pull her elbow, so I release that wrist on the top over here, grab her elbow, pull it all the way across. Look where I bring it. I bring it all the way across to my hip on this side. Once I bring it to the hip on this side, I start moving my arm all the way up into her wrist. Do you see that? So I'm gonna put my elbow pit in her wrist joint. So the joint of her wrist, that's where I'm clasping. So look, we're originally here. I reach through and I grab her elbow and I move it across towards her leg side, if you have a hard time remembering where. So towards her legs. Now I slide up and I pretty much pinch with my elbow pit inside her wrist joint. Now watch this. As I make that same bicep grip, but instead I'm just gonna hold on to my shoulder here. Now watch this. All I'm gonna do is a semicircle towards her head and then arch my back. And that breaks no problem. If she connects as hard as she can, it makes no difference. It just makes the grip so weak for her. That's a wrap on part number 2 for the intermediate arm bars. Now, keep in mind, so the reason why I like to keep them shorter and less technique, because I find that when I watch different videos on YouTube about jiu-jitsu videos, when they put a lot of moves, I mean like a lot of stuff, there could have been something in there that really could have helped you, but maybe you've picked the move after or the move at the end, right? So there's no focus on any of them, and there's so many moves that they've demonstrated that are really good, and that we've missed out on because it's just a lot at once. So for my belief, I feel that if you were given a small amount to work on and focus on, then over time you'll get better at it. And the thing is, it'll feel almost like if you just start and it's not going to work, it's like almost like a feeling of I just want to let it go and move on to something else, but ignore that feeling. Believe me, the longer you stick with it, the more you drill it, the better you'll get at it. So that's why I'm giving you guys a small amount, so just a small little pocketed technique for the armbar, few little grip breaks that work universally depending on what the hell he does. That way you guys can focus on it, drill it in class, drill it after class, and it'll make you guys improve a lot faster. So you guys know the routine by now. Pretty much subscribe over here, click here to watch more videos, and also I told you guys I'm going to leave a link over here for the solo bag drills, and also follow us on Instagram. Thank you very much, guys.